Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with the king of violence, Mike Perry, who returns to headline KnuckleMania 4 against Thiago Alves on April 27th in Los Angeles. Mike, how are you? You seem in good spirits. How's it going? How's the king of violence going, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm in great shape for my fight next week. I'm prepared for battle, and I can't wait to get out there, man. Be all flashy, and I'm gonna talk my shit next week when I get my chance. I mean, I keep talking it. I think I'm gonna win. I believe I'm gonna win. I think I'm the better fighter, better boxer, better brawler, whatever you want to say at this bare knuckle stuff. I think it's mine.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And before we get into your opponent and talk about that fight, and also I want to ask you about some things going on in the combat sports world. I want to ask you, how is usually preparation, right? Because this is fairly a new sport, at least in the mainstream. It's been up top, for the last few years. But how do you train? Do you train bare knuckle? Is it just like regular boxing, and then when it comes fight night, you just don't do it without the gloves? How's usually preparation and training for these fights?
Yeah, I definitely get more practice in than I used to. Bare knuckles, sometimes I hit the bag, but sometimes I get little cuts that
Mm,
it takes time to heal, or I burn the skin off of my knuckles. So it's mainly regular boxing training, and then I have to make sure I do a couple of things to strengthen my grip, strengthen the squeeze of my fists, warm up my hands before, and just make sure they're ready because it's damaging either way you look at it. So I just prepare my mind for what it's going to take, especially this guy, to fight, to punch this rock,
mm.
this golem. He's a Pokemon rock with some rocky fists. So I gotta watch out and stay sharp, be slick. At this body weight, I think I'll move pretty well. Obviously, he always fought at 170 and 75 as well, but he's coming up to 85. I've been here one time before, and I'm looking to see where his speed is at. I think he'll be a little slower than me. I think his technique is obviously basic technique is good. I have basics as well. That's pretty much all I work is the basics, and I think mine look sharper than his.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? Because BKFC or bare knuckle boxing, I mean, it's been around forever, but as of this form, it's been around, very, very recent. So it's not like MMA where you go to a gym and the coach has sort of the best practices and they'll get you up to date. Have you kind of had to kind of coach yourself in a way, like perfect like the craft as you go? Or is there somebody that you can go to and be like, hey, man, like how should training look like? How should fighting look like? Game planning and all that?
No, this has always been, being through all the fights I've been through. You want your going to MMA gyms. As a fighter, I'm the one with the dream. And I'm the one going in and taking the punches and giving the punches. And it has to be my game plan at the end of the day. These, I've been there before where as a fighter, you want your coach to tell you this golden thing that's just going to win you the fight. But that thing doesn't exist. It's inside of you, it's inside of your head, and you're the one who has to put it all together at the end of the day. If you're banking on what your coach is going to say, now don't get me wrong, my coach watches closely and gets me thinking about what he sees me not thinking about and
Yeah.
what I might should be thinking about. That's He knows how to communicate with me, and I am very fortunate that we have this understanding with each other, where I trust him as a coach. And because, he trusts me to go out there and be tough and deal with what I have to deal with in order to get back to the corner and listen to what he's got to say. And I got to soak that in. And I try and it's always very fast when you're in there, and but it's mainly like 98% my ideas,
Hmm.
my stuff coming together. This has always been the way that Mike Perry has fought, and now I get to do it, my way. And I've been doing it this way for the past few years, and I've been winning.
Yeah. And I think fans and media and everyone has really noticed, like everybody is always saying like, man, this is truly Mike Perry's sport. And we've seen sort of your personality and your fighting style and everything just really um, be in display, throughout bare knuckle boxing. And this is not to diss the UFC or anything like that, but would you say you're having more fun in this stage of your career fighting in bare knuckle boxing than when you were in MMA? Is that fair to say?
I'm soaking it up. I'm doing all I can to enjoy the moments as they come. I'm a main event fighter now, and I could have been in the UFC, but they had other plans, and the people here at BKFC really enjoy what I like to bring to the fight game, and it's a fight. It's a real fight,
Yeah.
and we're going after it. And obviously, don't get me wrong, like MMA is a real fight too, in a different way, where the people would say it's more real because you can do more, and there's more options. But I am having fun. I am enjoying the money much more. And I've always been a boxer. I've always wanted to box. Even my UFC opponents, I would train all this other stuff, MMA, grappling, kicking. I was okay with the kickboxing even, but doing the grappling and the striking, and all I ever wanted to do was the striking. And I would practice the grappling so much, and I was good. I got really good at it, and but I never choked anybody out in a fight because all I did was want to punch them. And I did all this training for this stuff that I didn't plan on using, and I just kind of ran myself into some trouble. And if training the way I train now, focused on, I still go to an MMA gym and I still train with these MMA fighters, and I just box them, and they could do whatever they want to do to try to win the round or whatever, and I'm just gonna box them, outbox them. And I understand MMA. I understand a kick to the leg. I understand wrestling takedowns and sprawling, and you want to, I'll time your takedown and throw an uppercut, bam, or so I I could fight any style, any way. I believe the winner that I am and the fighting that I've been doing, I'd be winning anyways. And it's just I'm getting compensated for it. And it's just like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't
Right.
you be compensated for all the shit you put yourself through, all the training? I trained as hard as I ever did. And now I'm finally being taken care of, and I can take care of myself, which makes me perform better. And, it gives the fans a funner fight. Like, I'm the only guy outside of the UFC that people are watching.
Hmm.
And they even say, like, oh, come back to the UFC. But UFC wants to pay bodybuilders 10-10. These new guys 10-10. They put a green fighter against a green fighter, and they're bound to get a knockout. One of them is going to be good enough to
Right.
land a hard shot, rather than these tough matchups. Some people say, "Oh, I'm fighting um, washed up people," but like MVP's not washed up.
Nope.
He just did incredible in his UFC debut um, against a tough fighter. Um, let's see what happens with Luke Rockhold and Joe Schilling. I don't know. Joe Schilling's pretty mean. Luke Rockhold's kind of too relaxed. Maybe he's going to get beat up again. Eddie Alvarez was tough against Chad Mendes. That was a great fight. and he used his speed and he was able to hit me, and I should have been like, yo, no, you ain't quitting. Get your ass back out. You ain't gonna hit me like that and then quit on the stool with 3 more rounds left in regulation. Like, get your ass up off that stool. Come out here and take your beating like a man.
Yeah, no, I mean those are all tough fights. Whoever's saying that is just hating. And just look at the fight itself, right? Like even the end result is tough, man. Like you're getting into really tough fights, and it's bare knuckle. So don't listen to those guys that are throwing those comments. And I want to ask you, like Thiago Alves, man. He, as you mentioned, he used to be in the UFC. Former title challenger, was a longtime contender there. Very tough guy, has experience in bare knuckle boxing, given that he was like one of the first champions of the organization a few years back. Would you say that this is the toughest fight that you've had so far, or toughest matchup you've had so far in your BKFC career?
Yes, I would say. I would say that. I mean, the next one's always the best one. This is the next one. Me and Thiago are very similar in stature and size and build, but I believe my skills will show the difference between us. My abilities in a boxing ring with no gloves in bare knuckle. He is experienced to where he had 2 of these boxing matches, but he's also been on a layoff, so maybe his
Yep.
body is very well rested and he's super hungry for this opportunity and he wants to try to come and get me all the shit I'm talking. But I know I gotta back this shit up. And I am prepared. This fight is long overdue. Me and Thiago are supposed to fight a long time ago. And it's worse for him now. I think I'm better than ever, especially under this rule set. I think he's, I think I got some tricks for him, and I'm gonna punch that rock in the face and make him bleed lava.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, this fight has kind of been rumored for a while. He's been chasing it for a while. That was one of his frustrations, that he really wanted this fight and it wouldn't come to fruition. What happened then? And I guess what's changed that the fight is finally coming together now?
When did he ever say he wanted this fight?
I
As
think
soon as
last
I
year he.
came to bare knuckle,
Mhm.
where'd he go? He left. As soon as I came to bare knuckle, he left. And then I'm not the reason our fight fell out. That's between him and whatever happened. Whatever. We're here now. We're gonna fight next week. And I don't know what he thinks saying that is going to do for him. I've never been offered Thiago until now. And
Okay.
I took it right away, except for the back in the day, the UFC, and he backed out like a couple of days before. So uh I he could think whatever he wants. And when we get in that ring and I'm picking him apart, limb from limb, the story will tell itself.
Yeah, looking forward to it again. KnuckleMania 4 on April 27th in LA. And speaking of LA, the first press conference that you guys had, you had quite the outfit. And you had the one-liners that were great. Very, very cholo-esque. Is there going to be more of that come fight night, since it's going to be in LA?
Well, I tried the cholo thing. I had the fit. It looked good. I thought I looked good, and I respect to LA and stuff. But I think one thing got misconstrued is when when I did this accent that wasn't a cholo accent. I was doing the uh, the Borat accent. Oh, what's up, Vanilla Face? You got somewhere for us to post up our black asses for tonight? And it came off weird.
I
I
mean,
just
there's still a few weeks. You got time to work on that,
I
right?
just be I just be trying to have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there. Me and my wife are gonna be together. She's in the corner. I got my team will be out there, and we're just trying to make it the fight night. We're gonna cut a little bit of weight. We're gonna get our workouts in. We're going to go eat at different restaurants in LA and check out the nice stuff in Hollywood, and maybe I'll give a couple dollars to a couple homeless people, since there seems to be a lot of those
Yeah,
out there.
you might need to go. You might need to take out a lot of money for that. A
I
lot of
said a
singles.
couple dollars,
Yeah.
a couple dollars to a couple. Because, hey, what do you think I'm a fighter for? You think I got money?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like BKFC is treating you quite well. Yeah.
Listen, all my money is invested currently, so I'm broke.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Well, you're
need
not
money.
broke. You just don't have any cash flow right now.
I'm fighting because I need money. A
Uh-huh.
lot of it. I need so much money, bro. I don't got a boat. I saw this
Yeah.
Brabus boat. This Brabus yacht is like 800K. I need that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, man. And just real quick, do you follow the page Fools Gone Wild? Because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw you at the presser on Instagram.
I don't think I follow them. I think a couple people tagged them. Maybe
Okay.
they even shared it and I
Yeah.
reshared it. I'm grateful for the support. I don't follow. I already am just pulled into Instagram enough as it is.
Mm,
Sometimes I got to get away from that thing and I got to spend some time, quality time with the family.
of course.
But shout out to Fools Gone Wild, man. I'm
Yeah.
coming to LA to punch this lunkhead in the face. April 27th, bare knuckle boxing, BKFC, bare knuckle fighting. I'm
Yes,
Platinum
sir.
Mike Perry, man. Y'all enjoy the show.
For sure. A couple more questions, and thank you so much for
Okay,
the
no
time.
worries.
MMA. I know BKFC sometimes lets guys compete in other sports, right? Like as long as it's bare knuckle boxing, that's kind of the exclusivity, or at least from what we understand. Are you done with MMA? Any chance we see you back in mixed martial arts or BKFC's now? There's got to be okay. So if the offer's right,
Who's coming? Who's coming to offer money for an MMA fight? No one. It's boxing matches now.
mhm,
It's only to see if the only opportunity probably is going to be who's you know. I need to be undeniable, like Max Holloway says,
yeah,
and maybe MMA and the UFC is an option one day if I keep being undeniable. Um, but
hey,
Darren Till
King of Violence
and
versus BMF.
true, and Darren Till and Jake Paul. Darren Till's a fat bitch who's been talking shit and ain't been fighting. So, and we want to make that fight happen because it's been a long time. A lot of people want to see it. So I'd like to make it happen just to fucking make it happen and punch his fat ass in the face. Also, Jake Paul is, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and didn't have to go through the shit that I went through. I grew up on the streets in Flint, Michigan and Apopka, Florida, and I fucking came up like a normal kid on my bike, riding around the streets, playing sports and not doing my homework and shit. So, Jake Paul's taking everything I work for. I want to fight that motherfucker. Put me in the boxing ring.
Yeah,
Put some gloves on my fists that are proven bare knuckle and in the UFC with those 4-ounce gloves, so we could box. We could do bare knuckle. Doesn't seem like a lot of people are jumping in line to fight me bare knuckle.
nope,
So there's only a couple
and
bare knuckle
understandably
fighters who
so.
won't
Yeah.
fucking shut up about it.
But you did come close a little bit to fighting Logan. I mean, you were the replacement opponent. You guys had a face-off right when he was going to fight Dylan Dennis. So you know that you are on the radar. Like, I know a lot of people call them out, and sometimes they don't even address it. But for a fact, you are on the radar. You think that could happen? Like, how confident, I guess, are you, or how much of a belief do you feel like there's something there that could maybe go down the line?
Definitely, I think more so the Jake Paul fight versus me rather than the Logan Paul fight or I could do the Logan Paul shit. They be doing goofy shit over there in the WWE. There was just like a video of him running away from some guy and he jumped in a car and drove off. It's funny, whatever. You know, well, I that was tough because being the backup fighter for that fight, people talking shit, and Dylan Dennis was a nice guy to me. I was cool with him, and it's not like I could have taken the fight from him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He showed up and fought, and I also felt like, what am I gonna do? Stop him and his security in the back and be like, no, man, this is my fight. You're giving me this paycheck, but at the same time, he talked so much shit on Logan and his fiance that it was like, I kind of gotta let him fight if he's gonna show up and fight him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely, but Jake fighting Mike Tyson is like, no, you beat that Mike, you gotta come fight me.
The prime Mike.
Yeah, I'm in my prime.
Yeah.
The other one's a gangster, but he's a double OG.
Yeah. Double OG. 100%. Yeah, awesome. Well, hopefully that fight happens. I think that it'd be a really entertaining build-up, and I think that's an actual fight, right? A lot of people do criticize Jake Paul for fighting these guys that are out of their prime, and fighting you. I mean, I don't think anybody would hate on that, right? Lastly, and again, thank you so much for your time. I wanted to get the King of Violence thoughts on the baddest motherfucker title that we just saw. That spectacular moment, UFC 300, Max Holloway picking up a ridiculous knockout over a very tough Justin Gaethje. Overall, your reaction to it, and what are your thoughts on the baddest motherfucker belt over in the UFC?
Blessed man forever. I love what Max Holloway did. He made me want to go buy a rental property in Hawaii. Dip my feet in real estate a little deeper, and I've been to Hawaii a couple times, and I remember it being great, but also there were things about it that I was just like, But Max, he has the pride of where he comes from. I mean, Hawaiians are so proud of where they are from and where they live, and I mean, it wasn't just the end of the fight. Like, Max was performing all night in that ring. Like, he did so good. He looked, the shape he was in looked phenomenal compared to Justin, who I thought was going to be like bigger and stronger looking. He kind of looked out of shape. I mean, he went 5 rounds. But he looked like, you look at Max's physique versus Justin's, it couldn't be compared. Max was like, he had no body fat. You saw all his muscles. He was moving. He was fast. He was swift, sharp, slick, and he was touching him up. And he just said it at the last second. Bam, bam, and just, oh my gosh, it was awesome. Definitely stole the night. Then he gets $600K. Got two bonuses. When the bonuses were more than ever, he gets two of them, and incredible stuff, man.
Yeah, Max Holloway absolutely killing the game right now. All right, Mike. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck. Again, KnuckleMania 4 main event. You can't miss it. April 27th in LA. Mike Perry versus Thiago Alves is going to be a badass fight, so make sure to check that out. Again, thank you so much for your time, Mike, and best of luck.
Cheers, bro. Thanks.